I'm Elaine Harding. Welcome to my blog .stampwithelaine.com. Today I'm going to be making an Easter card with a little punch art, and this is a sweet little bunny rabbit. You see him from the front and you see him struggling from the back to say hello. The inks I'm using are Crumb Cake, Pink Pirouette, and these markers, Coastal Cabana, Crumb Cake, Calypso Coral and Hello Honey. The stamp sets I'm using are for Peeps Sake and Handcarved, and I've mounted them on blocks H, C and D. As you can see, this little bunny, he might look little, but he uses a lot of punches. I use the 2.5 inch, 1 3/4 inch, 1 3/8 inch and 1/2 inch circle punches. The paws and his ears I use the large oval punch, the small oval punch. The inside of his ears I use this image from the Bow Builder punch. I use the Owl Builder punch for his eyes, using the eyes here, and also the little heart for his nose and the pads of his paws. I also use the Itty Bitty Accents punch for this little detail here, and I will show you a neat trick on how to extend your arrow, because the arrow on here is quite short, so I'll show you a trick how to do that. So I've made a little chart here so that you can see how I achieved the bunny. His ears were made from the large oval punch, but then as we don't have a smaller oval punch to fit neatly inside the ear, I used the bow punch and then just trimmed it like so by putting it against the ear and then following it around and doing the same on this end. And then for the side you want it a little bit narrower, so again I just lined it up on the side and trimmed it, and then do the same for this side. You're basically butting that edge up, and it's only just a tiny bit that you trim off. So that it more or less fits in the ear like so. So next I'm going to show you how I trimmed the pads for the feet. These bits here. So for the paw pads, they're 2 small ovals punched out, and to get that shape you want it narrower at one end and wider at the other end. So basically I just cut it at a slight diagonal, turned it round and did it the same here, cutting at an angle. And then that gives you this shape here. So that goes on your paws like so. Next I want to show you how I did these little pads here, and that is just the owl punch, the little heart from the owl punch. You need 4, and then you just take one of the hearts, so you need 3 for the paw pads, and you're cutting from that tip. Let me bring it up closer. You cut from the tip of the heart to the center, like so. Can you see? And those will basically go on your paw like that. And to do the eyes, you're just punching out. This just doesn't want to stay there. You need to punch the larger circle in the crumb cake, the whites of the eyes with the smaller of the two circles, and then obviously you want to highlight the eyes, the irises, with these two small ones here. And basically that goes on top of there, and this goes on top of there to make up the eye. And lastly you want the tail, and that's from the blossom punch, which is this little flower here. So I've pre-punched it all, and I've trimmed it, so we're ready to assemble it. But I will take a picture of this so you can see, and I'll put it on the blog. You will also need a Stamp-A-Majig. I've pre-stamped the image on here already on the imaging sheet. Lastly, the card base is cut at 5.5 inches by 8.25 inches, and that's 14 centimeters by 21 centimeters. The Whisper White piece is cut at 5.25 by 3 7/8 inches, which is 13.4 by 9.8 centimeters. First we ink up our cardstock in crumb cake. Because this is such a big stamp, it's easier to take your ink pad to the stamp rather than the other way round. Then I take my cardstock, make sure that's the front of the card, and the reason why I've cut it shorter is so that the whole of the card will be covered. That's the stamp as big as it is, and if I cut it any longer then it will be very, very difficult to try and align the stamp so that you get the whole of the front of the card covered. You need to ink up the stamp again so you can stamp on the inside of the card, and this time we fold it so that the inside of the card is stamped. Pop it on and just rub your hand over it. Now we want to take a post-it note that I've punched out with one of the circle punches, and then I'll centre it over the card like so, and that gives you a guide on how to centre your punch over the cardstock. You could probably save that piece was another project. We bring back all the pieces that we need for sponging. So that's his cheeks. We don't need the eyes done, but that's the body, the head, the ears, the paws, possibly the nose and the tail. So we'll get our crumb cake, and I'll just sponge this off camera until they're all done, and I'll be back as soon as they're finished. Sponged all the pieces, and this is just the last one to do, which is his cheek. And then we're ready to assemble our bunny. So we'll pop a little bit of glue, Tombow, on the bottom of the circle and pop that there. And then we want to raise that a little bit get some dimensionals. Now we want to put his paws in. And then his little nose. Now we're ready for his eyes. So maybe we'll have him looking up to the corner there. So put these together and make sure they're both facing the same way. And if he's looking up that way, just want to cut a little bit off here. We'll stick it to the underside of his head. We'll fold his ear down and then use the crumb cake marker and put some whiskers on him. Put a tombow on the back for his tail. Stick that there. And the nice thing about the imaging sheet is that you can place it, or more or less centre it to where you want, and then use the T-bar. Ink up your stamp. I think next I'm going to use my markers to colour the eggs in different colours. So I'll do the end ones and the middle ones in Coastal Cabana, and I'll do this middle one in Calypso Coral, and this zigzaggy one in Hello Honey. Huff on it, and then stamp. Position your punch so that the bottom of the punch, where the punch punches through here, is aligned with the bottom edge. Okay. You want to line up that edge, the cut edge, with the groove of the cutter, and then we want to cut it up to 6 centimeters again. So the easiest way to do that is leave your scoring tool there, not scoring tool, your blade, and then just cut down. Okay, then just cut it at an angle in a V like that. Sorry, went out of focus. Alright. Now you want to, but this point here, in line with the grooves there, and basically you're cutting from there down, so a tad more to go, wasn't quite there. Okay, and you do the same for there. To this bit here, really, the measurement for that. So then all you do is stick that through, lift the tail up, okay, and then push it in until it meets up with the bit where you cut, and then you can punch. And there's your arrow, and it's been extended. Ink up your stamp, so I'll leave a little border along there. I'll punch a little circle from the owl's eye, the smaller of the two. And a flower with the itty bitty accents punch. On the back, pop it on the arrow, and I think I'll use several glue dots and then roll it up into a ball for a bit of dimension to put underneath that, and pop that onto the flower. An alternative card to this one. So I hope you've enjoyed today's Punch Art Easter card. Don't forget, celebration is coming to an end on the 31st of March. If there's anything you want, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me or visit my online store here via my blog stampwithelaine.com. You can connect with me via my Facebook page or on my YouTube channel, as well as my blog. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon.